Hello friends, welcome to the Cold War Prepper. My name is Lee. Want to do some channel announcements, and then I'm going to do some international things you need to prep for, and we'll talk about that at the end. But anyhow, right now, joy, elations. We had 1.5 inches of rain last night, and today is day 14. For the first 13 days, we were at 100 degrees or more. Today we have a high of 92. So a cold front taking us only to 92. We expect that to stay that way probably for the next 2 to 3 days. So a break from the 100-degree weather. Don't you just love Texas? Speaking of which, we do have, and this is kind of weather related, but we do have one tropical depression right off the coast of South Padre Island, or Padre Island, and that may affect and bring us more rain in the future. We hope. Then there's another one forming down just off of Nicaragua. They anticipate that's going to go west directly across the peninsula, and or the isthmus, and then there's a third one forming out in the Atlantic, kind of south. So they figure it's going to take a southerly track, which will bring it south of Cuba and then up into the Gulf of Mexico and probably into Texas. So we've got confirmation that hurricane season is here. Okay, so now let's run through the week. We got a lot of exciting things happening this week. Tonight at 8 o'clock, about 2 hours from now, we're going to be doing Chapter 3 of Soko Begovic and Toby Cowan's book, SHTF Survival Boot Camp. Let me tell you, I've been doing this since Cub Scouts. I've Cub Scouts in 1960. So I've been doing this for 60 years, and I'm learning new stuff, believe it or not. Really interesting stuff. So, of course, Soko Begovic was the who became famous from his writings about how he survived the Bosnian War, his 1 year in hell. And then that has expanded, and so now he's got a big following. But he's kind of gives us real, I've been there, done that, survival and prepping type information. So we'll be talking about that on this channel at about 8 o'clock this evening, Central Time. Then on Thursday, we're doing our fiction book club, and that's The Reversion, which is book 1 of the Stonemont series by Stephen C. Smith. Mr. Smith has packed so much good learning in this book that I went out and bought a separate binder, or not binder, but notepad, just for all the stuff I'm learning, reading this book. Really good stuff. So I strongly recommend you be here with us. I've got both book 1, volume 1 and volume 2 listed down below as on my Amazon store. So that if you want to just listen to us talk about volume 1, this coming Thursday at 8 p.m. Central, that's fine. Go ahead and order book 2. I would encourage you to read book 1 because it's progressive. But order book 1, book 2 down below. We'll be discussing book 2 the last Thursday in July. On Friday, I'm being interviewed by Prepping by Faith. Let me tell you, one of my favorite channels. Make sure you subscribe to her. She's going to be interviewing another one of my favorite channels, Van City Prepper, and she's going to be asking us questions around natural disasters, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes, sleet storms, ice storms, wildfires, and all that kind of stuff, and what we need to do to prepare for those, and how we can survive those. So that's going to be a very interesting 1 hour. I'm going to put the link to that down below so that if you want to join us at, I believe it's 8 p.m. Friday, Central Time, then you can click on that and come in and join the conversation and see what we have to say and maybe add some value to what we're saying. And then on Saturday, we're doing, and that's once again on my channel, we're doing our Grow Your Channel, which is always the first Saturday of every month. And this month, we're going to have Herdy Burke, who is a YouTube consultant, joining us. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on building each other's channels. So my outstanding moderators will be putting your link to your channel on the chat a couple times throughout the hour so that other people can subscribe to you. All we ask is that you subscribe to them. It's just a big subscription hangout, so everybody can kind of reinforce each other, join each other, and subscribe to each other, watch each other, thumbs up to each other, and all that kinds of stuff. Now for the important stuff going on around the world. Number one, today, a tripartite agreement was signed among Turkey, Sweden, and Finland. And that removed Turkey's objection to Sweden and Finland joining NATO. So Sweden and Finland will be joining NATO, and probably going to be approved at the meeting in Spain on Thursday. big problem. In the fact that, remember, the entire reason for the current escapade that we have going on was because Господин President Putin did not want that country to join NATO, and he was afraid they would, so he had to move before they did. So that's kind of interesting that Sweden has not had an alliance now since the Napoleonic Wars. The first time that they've joined an alliance will be NATO since the 1700s. Finland has not been in an alliance. They've been neutral since the end of World War II. But remember, Finland had the Cold War. The Winter War with Russia back in the winter of 1939-1940. So there are recent conflict between the two countries. That could be exacerbated. But also remember that Finland has an extremely long border with Russia. And so if Russia objected to the other country being a member of NATO, think of what he might do as a result of this one. So that's very concerning as well. And then the final one is, and I've got two different sources. The American astronomers are saying that a solar storm occurred on the sun. And now they're not saying it was a CME. They're not saying it's a solar flare. They're not saying, it's just saying solar storm. And they're projecting that it may hit the Earth tomorrow, Wednesday, June 29th. And that's all they're saying, is that it may hit the Earth. Now the Brits are being a little bit more concrete. They're saying that there is a solar storm that will hit the Earth on Wednesday, June 29th, and it may cause a grid down situation if it impacts their electrical transmission lines. So depending upon which one of those two sources you want to believe, take the appropriate action, whether that's putting your precious electronic equipment in a Faraday bag or a Faraday cage tonight and tomorrow, which might be a wise thing to do, regardless of which source you believe, is try to keep it in there as long as possible. But if you come out Friday and you say, hey, there was no electrical storm, it didn't have any harm, and you say no, no F, we're not going to flunk. But if it does happen and you believe the American astronomers and you say, gosh, I wish I listened, but I'm going to let you make up your own mind which one you want to believe. So with that, remember, we're all in this together, so we can come out of it together. Take care. This is Lee. Bye-bye.